Why your unrealistic ambitions are killing you is because when you decide to make a positive change, maybe it's to look better, to feel better, to move better, maybe it's a training program or some food that you're following or nutrition, our decisions or our initial decisions around commitment and expectations are often warped and conflated by the motivation that you're feeling in that very moment. It tricks you into overcommitting. That motivation, that spike in motivation, it's powerful, it's potent, but often it has a regression to the mean. So say for example, we've got a baseline and you're feeling high motivation at 2 a.m. in your bedroom after you've cleaned your room and you want to change your life, it's going to come back down. So we want to make sure that the expectations and the commitments that we've signed up for in our head, with our heart, is that something that we're going to be able to make actionable and also follow through with. So say you're starting or restarting at the gym. These are the thoughts that are going to come quickly. I'm going to do 5 days a week. Each session is going to be highly intense. It's going to be an hour long. I'm going to start with 21 days of meal prep. I'm going to be no longer masturbating. I'm going to have red light therapy. I'm going to be meditating and I'm going to be reading 10 pages a day. Now, what happens is life turns up the next week. Your work runs late. Your kids are sick. Your body's sore. You don't feel like doing shit. There's two things that you're going to be doing. One is you're going to follow through with that plan and you're going to feel overwhelmed and you're probably not going to commit to it in the following week, or you don't follow through with this massive plan. It creates a failing experience and already from the onset it's quite negative. That's why I recommend when you start out with this big aspiration of doing something, don't think of it as like a big habit that you need to count the days for, that how long you're doing it, but instead think of it as like this success story. Now you might be thinking, Toby, that is even worse. That's cringe. It sounds gimmicky and it's cliche. I'm not about it. But stay with me, because what the idea of a success story does is it is additive. It's not subtractive. So you're adding to your experience and it feels like it's quite manageable. You're like, oh, well, I've already been doing this. Why don't I just add a little bit more on? Because if we're subtracting from our big thing, we've started with 5 days at the gym, all of a sudden it's too much. I'm at 4, I'm at 3, I'm at 2. You're like, is this, this was meant to be my big change. I was so committed to this and now it's quite tough. Where if you start with 2 and now you're at 3, all of a sudden you're like, I'm fucking killing this shit. So it's these small wins over time instead of setting yourself up to strip things back when you inevitably overshoot, because creating a failing experience really kills your momentum, and that momentum in the initial start of when you're beginning to make a change, again, it's not a complete 180, it's just a slight turn. It's a slight degree of a change in your trajectory that's going to change who you are, because we often, underestimate what we can achieve in a year, but we highly overestimate what we can achieve in something like a week or a month or something like that. So to change your life, it's not going to need this big 180 U-turn. To turn blue into green, you're not going to need equal parts of yellow. It's just going to be a small dollop. So the same is going to go with your training and your nutrition. See, great results can come from just 2 days a week in the gym. It's not going to need 21 meals made for the entire week. Maybe it's just thinking about the hardest meal that you have each day. For me, for someone who works away from home, the meal that I struggle with the most is lunchtime. So instead of preparing 21 meals, I just got to prepare 5. That's pretty easy. That's about an hour on a Sunday to follow through with that commitment. And now I know what I'm eating for lunch every day. It's aligned with my goals, and I'm saving a hell of a lot of money a week because I'm not eating out each and every day for lunchtime. And that's why it's even more important for those that are fresh or new, or even the ones that are coming back to this and trying to give it a second or a third or a fourth go, is because it's about starting small, letting your body not only physically adapt, but your mind adapt to the commitments, because we've all got shit going on. I do, you do, the person next to you does, and your co-workers do as well. So it's important to work around the things that we've got going on, and don't commit to these large expectations and these really extravagant commitments that we have to follow through with and sacrifice all this stuff. Start with 2 30-minute sessions a week and try your hardest in them, and then let your body adjust, let the habits form, and then build the dial up after you've nailed that baseline. Start with those 5 meals a week, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, maybe I make up 5 breakfast burritos that I keep in the freezer because when I've slept in on my alarm, I can grab one of those on the bus or the train or my car right there, and I'm still aligning with my goals. And we're slowly building to this process, building a positive experience, and all of a sudden, once months and a year has gone by, you're like, hey dude, like this is who I am now. This is just what I do. And when I don't do these things, I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit out of touch, because it's now not only the effort that you've done, but it's who you are. To drive the whole idea home, after a month, you're gonna go, I am consistent. This is who I am, I'm not burnt out, and you're ready to do a little bit more. And not because motivation calls for it, but just because it fits. So start small, stay ready, let momentum, not motivation, keep you going. I've got some free resources down below that can help get your feet wet with this whole process of adding to your success story, as well as affordable weekly coaching that's also in the description. So find the link there. Enjoy.